All right, media, thanks for joining. We're going to get started with John W. Davis with Winsider.
Coach Fisher, even though it's early in the season, I've noticed that several teams in the W have already shortened their rotations to some even having just 7 players. Is that something that you may consider doing, being that you just lost the first 2 games by 20 and everybody's played?
Good. I want to make sure I heard the whole question, John. The volume was low right at the beginning. I think I get the gist of it, but I want to make sure I heard the whole thing.
Yeah, essentially just asking about the rotation. Is there any consideration after the first couple games of limiting your rotation to be more effective? Because several teams in the W, being that it's a 40-minute game, several teams will just play 8, maybe 7 players and just do what they have to do to get Ws.
Yeah, I'll. Some teams only have 8 or 9 players available. There are a few teams that have, players on hardship situations that, they're just having on their roster until somebody gets back from overseas that aren't a part of what they're doing moving forward for the entire season. So in some of those situations, I can't speak for other teams. I think we had some of that intent tonight. Jasmine went down. So that took one of our players in a shorter rotation situation that would have been available. She played 2 minutes. So that kind of automatically, put us into a situation where everybody was probably going to need to play. Still early in the season. We've only played, 2 games now in 2 weeks. So we're still kind of building our game level conditioning to be able to play big minutes, on short rotation. So definitely, something that, is always a part of, trying to figure out what's going to work best for the team, for sure. So, I have to do a better job of trying to figure that out. And, we'll get back to work as soon as we can to keep moving forward in that regard.
Adam Grossbart, LA Daily News.
Derek, you guys seem to start out with pretty good energy, got out to a 5-point lead, and then Vegas went on a 15-3 run. Like, what did you see switch there as your team closed out the first quarter, 1 of 6 from the floor?
Yeah, I mean, I think, in some ways, to John's point, like, once we start to get a couple bodies in just to try to give, our starters a quick blow real quick and even get them back in, things can quickly start to change. In some of these games. So, I feel like once we started to get some extra bodies in, things started to turn a little bit. We didn't convert on some of the opportunities that we did have in both of these games. We've gotten good shot attempts that we haven't made at times. So that's another part of it that, I have to go and take a look at as a coach and try and figure out how I can, put our players in more position to be successful and, see if we can get some shots, made at the basket more efficiently than we have. It's not that we aren't getting shots and people are preventing us from, being able to get field goal attempts. We just aren't converting at the rate that we're capable of so far. So we'll keep taking a look, but yeah, we definitely agree that the first quarters or like the start of the games have been pretty decent, but we haven't been able to sustain it. And we'll have to figure that out, and I have to do a better job.
David Yapkowitz for the next.
Hey, Coach. It was another tough night on the glass, like the previous game tonight. I think was something like a 44 to 28. You guys were out rebounded. What were you seeing on that end? What did you see out there in terms of, or at least, for these past 2 games, what you can kind of attribute to, that discrepancy there on the boards?
Yeah, some of it is, we're not the biggest team in the league, so there's going to be some difference. But in both games, we've shot the basketball more times than our opponent, but we've shot a lower percentage. So, The opponent has more opportunities to rebound than we do because we're not making shots that we're capable of making. So that's contributing to it. The other part is, we have to figure out, ways to secure, more boards. Our guards are going to have to do a better job of guard rebounding because, our bigger players they're working hard. They're trying to, fight on the glass as much as possible. But we're going to need our guards and our forwards to get back in there and scrap some of those rebounds out and see if we can get out into the transition a little bit more. But I think the biggest part of it is we're getting more shots on goal and just not converting at the rate that we need to try to shorten that gap between rebounds compared to our opponent.
Go to Chris Camella.
Hey, Derek. Obviously tough tonight, but in a way, this was sort of a reunion for you to see two of your former players, Chelsea Gray and Raquana Williams. Just wanted to know if you had any interaction with them, and one, what was that like, and two, how did you like coaching them in your first 2 years with the team?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Vegas now 3 times in like 15 days. So, there have been interactions with both Raquana and Chelsea prior to tonight, that were, fine and positive and respectful. And, like I said, pregame, always going to wish both of them the best. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. Like they're both really good players. Happy that, they're in a good situation, part of a good team, good organization. And yeah, I mean, that's all I have at the moment.
All right, thanks, Coach. All right, questions for NECA. We'll start with John W. Davis.
My question for you, NECA, is regarding to your offensive output. I know you're doing a lot and, you're taking shots inside out, active, everything like that. But do you think you can do even more than what you've done in the first 2 games on offense?
I feel like if I'm looking at myself as what's being contributed to the team, certainly there's always ways that I could do more. I think it's a way more dynamic than just like field goal attempts and field goal percentages and like field goals made. I think it's more dynamic than that. I think it's a mindset of understanding my role on this team. And my teammates have done a really great job of reminding me of that. I think I tapped into it a little bit more today. But I know that I have to be active. I have to be a threat. I have to be a killer out there for my team to be in position to win.
Adam Grossbard.
Nick, I know it's a very different team and from last year and just 2 games into the season, but just where do you feel like you guys are in terms of building your chemistry as a rotation and as a team?
I definitely feel like we're figuring things out as we go. Each day is better. Fish has talked about getting 1% better each day, and I feel that. I think it's frustrating, of course, when results don't necessarily reflect that, but we have to really trust this process. We're all relearning each other. Shoot, I'm even relearning playing with Sinead because I didn't play with her last year, So there's so many pieces to this team that are new, that are fresh, that we're grateful to have. But I definitely feel like we are like in the process. We are deep in the process, and we have to understand that it's okay to be in that space, but also not get hung up on frustrations. We need to use that to fuel each other to be better together.
David Yapkowitz.
Hey, NECA. Coach was talking a little while ago about some of the looks that you guys are getting offensively, just not being able to convert on that end. And you guys forced Vegas into 15 turnovers, I think it was today. In the last game too, you forced a lot of turnovers. Just what do you think it's going to take, to kind of maybe get some of those start converting on those opportunities a little bit, in transition, to kind of jumpstart your offense a little bit, maybe, and kind of get that going?
I think understanding that our defense fuels our offense. I think more recognition, more court IQ, and of course, like chemistry as well within the system that Fish has put in. We have the pieces, we have the foundation. It's really just fusing those things together. We know we can do it on defense. It's shown in the last few games, and the challenge is understanding how we convert that. And so with a new team, that synergy is going to come, but we can't allow, kind of the speed bumps to disrupt us getting better in the process.
Last one for Nick. We'll go to Nick Hamilton.
Hey, NECA. Obviously, the first two games didn't go the way that you all wanted, but you guys have two big games coming up against Chicago. What do you feel like needs to be done in addition to, like you said, just playing together, building that cohesiveness? What are some of the minor things that you feel like that you all can clean up and be able to try to get that first win?
I think that we need to just have better decision making, whether it's in transition or in offense, and then also not allowing poor offensive possessions to trickle into our defense. We have a really great defensive team. We're very active, especially when we play together. So understanding that we can stick to schemes on defense and convert those possessions into offensive possessions, whether it's in transition or we have to execute in the court. And then also not getting in our heads and not allowing that to disrupt the flow of our game.
Thanks, Naga.
Thanks, everyone.
Quick. Rashawn Haylock.
Hey, Rella. How much more comfortable were you out there tonight versus last week? And looked like you're able to get a little aggressive at times. What's that process for you like, just kind of being able to find your spots and where you can contribute?
This process has been, it's kind of been rushed for me because as everybody knows, like I came here 2 days, had to get ready for a game. And I think coach did a good job just trying to feel me back in to this team. I'm still getting used to my teammates, trying to get used to their timing, the way they move, how fast they're moving, all that stuff. And like NECA was saying, it's a process, and it's frustrating when the results aren't matching your work ethic and the work that we're putting in. But I know it's going to click. So like you said, I'm starting to feel the pace and how everything's moving. And I just know I see little details that I can improve on. And I'm going to try to translate that and get better every time I step on the floor.
Chris Camello.
Hey, Rella. Obviously, this is a very seasoned group. You play tonight in Las Vegas, very, very talented. I just wanted to kind of get your reaction to playing against some of the great guards that they have, like Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and Raquana Williams. Two of them were with the team last year. So kind of want to get your reaction about playing against them, among others, of course.
It was a really good experience because as I'm guarding them, I'm picking up small things that they're doing, seeing how Raquana, was stepping and coming off screens and using her balance as she's elevating into her shot, and just seeing how Chelsea Gray is really patient and has her own pace to the game. It was great watching them and playing against them because I was just picking up on little things that they were doing to help them be successful.
Nick. Nick Hamilton, you there? I will go over to John W. Davis.
How many times have the coaches talked to you about the fact that your defense is what's going to get you on the court more so than offense?
They emphasize it a lot in practice, but I'm not trying to, show that. How do I want to put this? I'm not trying to kind of use my defense to get on the court. That's just a mental, just like a mental preparation and just the mentality that I have, because I don't want another person to score on me. So it's just that mentality I have. I want to be good at defense. I want to make the right plays on defense, be there on rotations, help my teammates out, all that stuff, and get the game flowing. Coaches emphasize it, but I think it just starts, it's just an important aspect of my game in general that I take pride in. So it naturally flows. Like,
Last question for Rella. I'll go to Corey Harrison.
Hey, how you doing?
good, how are you?
Oh, so despite the loss, what were some of the things you learned about this team tonight, like the areas of opportunities, things that you can build on going forward?
For playing with my group, I learned that, I have to find the right timing within my teammates, find the right timing within the offense, come into shots ready, and do the work early so I don't have to do a lot more work later. On defense, I just learned to keep being aggressive. And as for like the other teams, I'm just learning their pace, seeing how they're rotating, all that stuff. Like I said, it's a journey. So you watch film and you see yourself and you just make changes the next time around.
Thank you. All right, questions for Janae. We'll start with Rashawn Haylock with Spectrum Sportsnet.
Hey, Shanae.
What up?
What up? Two-parter for you. NECA talked about how, it's a process, trusting the process. What are some of the positives you can take from this game as a team? And then for you individually, game 2 now, where did you see yourself make strides?
As a team, I think we're getting all the kinks out now, and it's obvious. Like, training camp is quick, and then we're into games. And I think our team just has to relax a little bit, because when we're in practice, we work hard and we support each other and have energy. And, these 2 games, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves because we have high expectations individually and collectively for ourselves. But that pressure turns into overthinking, overreading, and not just playing in flow. So I think it's just going through the bumps in the road, which are all happening individually and collectively now, knowing that our work will pay off. And I trust in that process, and that's what NECA was saying. For me personally, I played 30 minutes, y'all. Like, I'm very happy that I played 30 minutes, have my lungs, and felt like I could have played more. And that's what I'm taking away. It's like, all right, I haven't played in a year and almost 2 years. I got 30 minutes in. And that to me is good, because now I'm like, all right, like, now I can just focus on hooping, not like, get in my body, blah, blah, blah. Like, I felt good. Yeah.
Chris?
Hey, Shanae, tough loss tonight, obviously. I just wanted to know for you, what was it like to play against Chelsea and Raquana? You spent a year with them 2 years ago when they were on the team. I just wanted to kind of get your reaction to that. And what was it like to play against them in a regular season game, not just a preseason game?
I mean, we have a lot of respect for their game, but quite honestly, it doesn't matter who we play against. Like, it's one of those things where the switch flips. Like, Liz is probably one of my closest friends in life, and y'all saw us beefing. So, it obviously super talented players, but, when it comes to game time, we have our own mission. And so I think I'm the type of person that just locks in on that. Yeah.
See one more hand, so we'll end with John W. Davis.
Janae, what's your message to yourself after this? What's your message to yourself after this? You seem to get a little frustrated at the end of the game with Emma Cannon. So what's your message to yourself and to your team? I know you're rolling your eyes, but I can see you.
I don't take ish, period. And so I know it's funny. People probably see me as a nice person outside. But when I hoop, I don't take ish. So I took a couple blows in the game and I'm not taking blows. So, I mean, it's all fun. You know what I mean? There's like no bad energy now, but like, I just need people to know that I'm not taking it, period. And so people saw the after, that's cute. Don't hit me in my stomach with your elbow. Don't do that. Like, there's going to be a reaction. So I think the mentality of our team is I know the scoreboard doesn't indicate it, but like for us, we're all pushing individual goals. It's game 2. And for me, it's to be tough. And so when you see those things happen, that's byproduct of just trying to be tough. So yeah, but I'm smiling after. So.
Thank you.